as an author, I invite you all to book launch function of the book Telangana-Andhra. In a very cordial atmosphere, I have written the book, though I was very actively in the movement. There are a number of issues which are not debated in the movement. It is only certain issues raised by the political parties and the political leaders are debated. A serious issues which involved a large number of people to participate in the movement are not discussed. So that is why last 2 years I have been working on this book. Yesterday I have seen, I think TV9 perhaps or TV5, I did not exactly remember, new type of movement. They said new type of movement is coming up. That is what they said. And first they have shown pamphlets in Usmania, not pamphlets, wall posters in Usmania University, yesterday's wall posters. Next they have shown the cover page of my book. I don't know how they got the cover page. The page is like this. So I think TV5 perhaps, a kind of sensation they may want to create. It is not part of though. The symbol like this is a fighting symbol. I have selected wantedly out of 3-4 drawings shown by my publisher, but there is nothing like that. What is there basically, there are serious issues which could be discussed. Basically 2 regions are different. Gentleman agreement and other agreements guarantees further widened the regional differences. That is what the point I say. Next thing is, because of the linguistic question, Telugu linguistic question, Urdu speakers were silenced. Not only at that time, even today there is a chapter on Muslims. Muslims are totally silenced. They have nothing to speak. Linguistic state, even Telangana state also. That is what actually I have shown from their angle also. I read a lot of files relating to MIM, Kashim Razvi, etc. Home Department. A lot of files are there in Home Department. So next chapters are how democracy is made. And in democracy, in the making of democracy, people's role is not there. It is purely from the elite and caste angles. Perhaps Andhra Pradesh came into being. That is what the point I am suggesting here. Since people are not involved in the making of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh state, people were unhappy, and that is why basic reason in the formation of Andhra Pradesh, basic problem formation of Andhra Pradesh faces is regional conflict. Much more seriously, regional conflict. That is what I am suggesting. And as far as the Telangana movement is concerned, there are 2 types of movement within Telangana. One is lowest social groups are participating in the movement. It is a people's movement. I agree it is a people's movement. Extensively I quoted what Chakalis thought about the movement, what Voderas and others. So their intention is expansion of democracy. They want space in democracy. That is what people wanted it. But whereas the leadership is in the hands of a regional elite, and they always focus on Telangana movement as anti-Andhra movement. It is not. It is definitely for a separate Telangana, definitely to break away from Andhra Pradesh. But for people, democratic aspirations are there. They are thinking that in case Andhra Pradesh, Telangana is formed, they might get some space. Right? So intellectuals perhaps did not discuss about this. The 2 dimensions of Telangana movement are not discussed. So that is why I want to bring to the notice of all the people here that Telangana movement is not only what is being talked about by TRS leadership, but smaller voices are also there. I have very strongly associated with them 2 years. In any meeting I have attended, thousands of people, they came to meetings, lowest sections, and meetings were really successful. I was overwhelmed. Why? Though I was not a member of parliament or assembly, not active here, I was in Delhi, but even then I have sent messages that basically I speak for the common people, lowest sections. Therefore they immediately rallied and they came forward. That inspired me to think from the point of view of such people. About 500-600 pamphlets I have collected. On the basis of the pamphlets, on the basis of intelligence inputs, on the basis of memoirs, I have come to the conclusion that it is essentially a people's movement. It is not a movement of only TRS and regional elite, though regional elite is leading. And till now, one thing I am sure is that the lower sections did not develop their own leadership. That is why leadership has come from the elite only. And Telangana movement is going to be a permanent one. As a student of history, I think if movement is launched by a political party, that will not continue longer. If people voluntarily, mentally agreed, they think it is genuine, anywhere you go there, water, sufficient water is not there because their share they are not getting. Jobs are not there because Andhra people have taken the jobs. Like that, it is there in the minds of the people, whether it is true or not, it is immaterial. Truth is not immaterial, truth is not material, but what is important, once people decided that injustice is done to Telangana, therefore Telangana movement is going to be a permanent movement. So it is essential that the central government has to take note of it. One more point I suggest here is, today Telangana is a part of small states because not only in Telangana, in other parts also, if you see the social character of the regional movements, it is those who did not get a political power, those who are excluded from political power, such kind of people are launching movements. Telangana is similar case. Telangana people did not get a chance to get into politics. So they are not part of the democratic system. That is why people are interested in the movement. This is important. So that is why for these two reasons, Telangana movement will continue, and the central government has no idea of making states at all. At that time, Jawaharlal Nehru was under compulsion. 1950s is a coordination between regional elite and national elite. And regional elite were very powerful because vernacular press was in their hands. Vernacular press played very important role in nationalism. Vernacular leaders were also national leaders. So that is why Nehru could not deny them, and they did not seriously think how to disintegrate presidencies and make states. They did not get a chance at all. In a nationalist debate, everything is debated. Making of national states is not, regional states are not discussed at all in nationalist movement. Because Gandhi many times said, when Andhra issue has been brought to his notice, he said it is internal issue, we will discuss it later. Similarly, many nationalists did not pay attention. Suddenly this issue has been imposed upon them. So they have no idea how to do it. And states reorganization has taken place not with understanding but with pressure. Because of the pressure applied by various social groups, and regional states have been organized. That is what my contention here. Independent state must review the situation today. In the last 50 years, regional elite, dominant social groups enjoyed political power. Resources have been appropriated by them. And others, small regions or backward regions, backward communities or Adivasis, minorities have been excluded from political power. That is why such people are demanding new states today. So, and only constitution empowers only central government, and therefore central government must think of it. And last decade, Telangana people have been fighting. Lot of sympathy has come from other states, but central government did not initiate any action on it. My appeal is, central government is the basic responsibility of the central government to discuss this issue under Article 3 in Parliament, finally, openly, in a transparent fashion. If majority of the parties or politicians think that Telangana does not fit to be created as separate state, they can, through Parliament, they can inform the people, and they should do it. But giving Telangana is not a charity, it is a constitutional obligation. They must become sensitive to Article 3. Wantedly, there was serious debate on Article 3 when it was being discussed in a Constituent Assembly, and very clearly they did not make states party, because states are party, states may not like. So it is fully in the hands of the central government to create states. So constitution is defunct today because political parties are playing games, and political parties must realize it is a constitutional obligation under Article 3 whether Telangana or any other state fit to be created as separate state or not. And constitution, under constitutional provisions, this is to be discussed, and the central government is like another political parties within political frames and behaving like a political party rather than the government. Government must become autonomous from the political party that controls, and finally they must place the demand of the people in the parliament and discuss it. So I want intellectuals to take up this issue at intellectual level. Political level, there will not be unity. It is a vested interest. Political interest means vested interest, and intellectuals have to discuss it and understand the social groups, new social groups. After half a century of independence, they realized they did not get political power, and ultimately they are demanding their own state. They have expressed full faith in the constitution, Article 3, and that is why they are demanding it. But unfortunately, the government, without answering, taking this issue in a right spirit, it tells it is an Naxalite movement, sectarian movement, or sectarian movement, secessionism is there, various things they are saying. I think it is wrong, and that is why intellectuals have to debate. There are historical reasons for the rise of this movement, historical reasons for the silence of certain communities, historical reasons for the failure of certain people to produce their own leaders. In that fashion, I have written this book. I now want a discussion on this.